Om Bhairavaya Namaha. Om Hingulambikaya Namaha. Om Kamakyaya Namaha. Om Kalakalaya Vidmahe Kalatitaya Dhimahi Tannah Kalabhairava Prachodayat. Namaskaram. Welcome to yet another video of our Ishtartha Bhairava, Guru Bhairava. Today, we will talk about the path of Bhairava. There is a journey through death, desire, as well as a divine. So, I believe you would be knowing this story, one of a very famous story about Nachiketa as well as Yamaraja. Here, there is a quest between the wisdom and the awareness about the gentle move between Shreya as well as Preya. So we'll talk about what exactly this Shreya and Preya is all about. But before that, um, it's here actually we are trying to put across a reflection about the Bhairava stands on guiding the presence. How exactly in this particular story, how the essence is actually giving a bhava of Bhairava Tattva or the opening of the Bhairava consciousness. Like he came into an existence with a fierce yet compassionate form of Shiva, but he's a Guru Bhairava. He's a Parama Guru. He's a master of Kala. He's a Kala Bhairava. And he shows the way not with the words, with a deeper experience. He has taught many of the sadhakas like he is beyond the time. So, through the silence, challenges, and even with a true depth of the situation or the existence or the person, he will teach us about what is really important in this life. To truly feel this wisdom, so let's turn into a well-known story, which is part of Upanishads. Okay, this is not part of any kind of a tantric books, but the information is about Upanishads, how exactly the disclosure of Shreya and Preya are very, very important when it comes to the Bhairava sadhana perspective. Here, I believe most of the people would be knowing this. This is the story of one of a very famous story in Kathasara. It is the part of Upanishads, basically. Here, it is about the beautiful dialogue or a beautiful conversation between Nachiketa as well as Yamaraja. It is like Nachiketa with directly with the death itself. Okay, conversation and how exactly Bhairava was in presence in that particular situation as an inner master. We'll try to decode from this aspect how exactly it is. But in case if many of them do not know about the Nachiketa story, let me just tell you a quick story about Nachiketa. It is one of a very famous Upanishad stories. Okay, so basically there lived one sage called as an Vajra Pravasa. Okay, Vajra Vajra Pravasa or Vajra Shravasa. Basically, Vajra Shravasa or Vajra Pravasa was a greatest sage. He was in his last stages of his um, in his actually day in his yajna. He also was called as Gautama at that time. Okay, it is not Gautama Buddha. He was called as an Gautama Rishi. Okay, it is not the Gautama Rishi who actually we do the particular vidhana and or a puja or the rishis normally we do it. This is the rishi's name as Vajravasya. Okay, Vajrapavasana or Vajravasa, he's also been called as an Gautama Rishi. Okay, so basically, he was in a verge of actually his pronunciation, and he was being asked by his gurus as well as in the scriptures he had read it, that actually in this he need to perform one ritual sacrifice, Vishvajita Yagna. He thought that actually he would be performing Vishvajita Yagna. Vishvajita Yagna is very, very, most of the kings actually did this, including Ashoka. Okay, why it is important? In this ritual, whoever performs this particular rituals gives away everything they have owned to gain to entry towards the heavenly, to the world, that is to the Swargaloka. They do all the dana in this particular yagna called as a Vishvajita Yagna. And basically, his father, like Gautama Rishi, got into a yagna. He called all the sages across the globe, and he conveyed this message to across all the villages surrounding to him, and he told that actually he is performing the Vishvajita Yagna, and he is trying to give away all the things which he has owned. It may be money, land, it may be even all sort of jewelries. He started giving it whatever he used to positioning it. He gave away all the positions, including cattle's, gomatas, which were considered as the greatest wealth at that time. Okay, those time actually, even Raja Maharaja, they used to actually, whenever they used to do any kind of a dana or any kind of a dakshina, they used to give it, especially to the Brahmin community or to any kind of a varga. They used to actually give the Gomata as a dana. A reason is Gomata was considered as the greatest wealth at those time, and even till dated. If you see where is the Mukkoti Devata residing in today's existence, it is only in Gomata. Okay, and he started giving everything, positioning, including cattle, ox, cow, everything. He started giving it. He had one son called as a Nachiketa. Okay, he was a Vatu. He was a young Brahmin with 11 to 13 years between. And the son Nachiketa was innocent boy. He was so innocent that he used to notice all the things which his father did it, and also his father did it clearly conveyed even to Nachiketa before starting the yagna, that he is performing a Vishvajita Yagna, and this Vishvajita Yagna is a doorway to the heaven. It is a doorway to the Swarga Loka that one can step into. It is about giving away whatever he positioned. It is about the giving away. Nachiketa was so innocent. He noticed very carefully, what we call it as in Hindi as bariki mein socha jayega. So he started seeing his father's act in a very minute level. He tried to analyze what exactly his father is trying to do. He noticed that actually his father used to give all his positions like jewelries. He called every day someone, not like he used to give some golds, and next day he used to call a few people and he used to give away um, the food, grains, whatever he had it accumulated it. And father was donating everything. When he started seeing that actually he started giving away the cattles, he saw that actually his father giving the cattles, not only healthy cattles but also the old cattles, weak cattles, useless, or we call it as a cattles which has like physically ailment issues. But the reason behind this particular thought of Gautama Rishi was very simple, that he wants to step into the heavenly for by performing the Vishvajita Yajna. He thought actually he need to give away whatever he has. It may be good, bad, ugly. He need to actually give away everything here, and he need to go to the next stage. And while performing this yajna, there were multiple rishis sitting at one particular sighting, and they used to continuously perform the havana. And Nashiketa actually always had a query like, why my father is continuously doing it. That was the situation his father explained to him as what is the importance of this, why exactly one should actually go into the gain entry into the heavenly world, Svargaloka, how exactly this can be performed. This was complete details he explained him. When he explained that actually the old, weaker as well as useless cattle was being given away, the cows that could not even longer to eat, drink, or even given milk. Previously, it has been considered that when cattle was there, cow Gomata was there, when it was not able to give the milk, the people used to see that actually it is a weak, old, and useless. Okay, and they were never used to actually do this as what the current situation was there. They used to actually take care of it as a, same as the old parenthood, what we do take care in today's world. But Nishiketa, his son, observed this with a very disturbed way. He was very disturbed that like asking like why father is trying to do this mistake. Why he is giving the old cows, weakened cows, the cattle which are not able to even give a milk, not able to even drink the water properly. He was a bit confused and he actually went and approached his father. How can such offerings please to the god? This was the first question what he got into a mind, and actually he went to his father. He asked like, is this a dharma, like father, that you are giving away everything, whatever you hold it? He told yes, whatever I have, I'm giving away everything. Then he got one thought that he asked his father again and again one repeated question, stating as whatever belongs to you, you are giving away because you want to step into the Swargaloka. As I am part of you, as I am part of you, to whom will you give to me? Give me. He asked us like um, asking this particular question repeatedly, like couple of times. His father actually ignored it. He did not even responded to him. Few times actually he was in the mid of the yagna, and few times he was in the mid of actually in the dana dharma. At all these phases, repeatedly Nashiketa used to come and ask his father like, to whom will you give me? To whom will you give me? To whom will you give me? This was a repeated question by Nashiketa. At one given point of time, Gautama Rishi, okay, Vajrapravasa, actually, Gautama Rishi, he actually became very furious and he told that I would give it to you to the Lord of Death. I will give it to you to the Yama. To death I give you. This was actually the word he uttered when he was furious. Try to understand at that given point of time in the Satyuga as well as um, Dwapara Yuga, they always used to give a importance to the verbal note. Once the Rishi has told something, even they never used to take back. Even many of the such storylines are there, even in our Purana, where Rishi Munis have given a um, curse even to the Devatas, okay, and Deva Purushas also. Considering this particular word, once spoken in a sacred context, as irreversible, and so with a fearless heart, Nachiketa approached his father alone and told that, Father, thank you. As you told us, I am entering into I am going with for the death, and I will be meeting the king of the death, Yamaraja. He dies. He loses his body, but before losing his body, there is a storyline in such a way that he enters to the Yamaloka. The body, um, actually, he would be in hibernate stage. He goes in a trance state where actually he goes to the Yamaloka, the boy who waited at the doorsteps of the Yamaraja. Nachiketa, when he went to the Yamaloka, the guardians of the Yamaloka actually stopped him. Okay, and the guardians told him that actually Yamaraja is not available now. He has gone to some parikramana, as well as he has gone for some rituals to perform outside. So you can wait outside of the premises. So Nachiketa was actually waiting outside of the Yamaloka for first day. First day went, second day went, third day also it went. And how he went there, due to the tapas whatever he had done, the tapas actually he was burning him with these questions. The fire that does not flinches, that was a fire he had it. And he was continuously doing the japa, and he was sitting in front of the Yamaloka gate, and he was awaiting for the deva of the Yama to come in front of him. This is not ordinary wait. Let me just tell you very simple. People tell actually that he was waiting, and no, it was not ordinary wait. He had burning questions. Nachiketa had burning questions that he need to ask to the Yamaraja, because even to his father, when he has so much of intense question to approach him, he had very valued information to be grasped from the Yamaraja himself. So it was not an ordinary weight. It is like symbolically of three knots of ego. So normally in ego we call it as three knots. Okay, the first layer is actually the body. We always start telling having the ego from the body level. Second, the ego level is from the speech. The third is from the mind. We start feeling that actually we are supreme. I am the guru himself. I am giving a diksha to someone, or I am training someone, or I am mentoring some few of them, and I am becoming guru. Trust me, this is the layers of the ego. Okay, very, it is a bondage, the layers of the bondage. This is the normally being done even today, and this was burning question for Nachiketa, like body, speech, and mind. How much dissolve before the real teacher appears in front of us? So Yama, after 3 days, Yama returned to Yamapuri. So he came to his palace, and when he came there, he saw the Vatu in front of his Yamaloka, and actually asked the the Dwarapalakas to, with a honor, to bring him inside, and actually patiently listen to him as what was the reason actually he came here. Because as his death actually was not been written at this point of time. His father, in a furious mode, actually had told one particular word, that I I give it you to the Yama, to the death I give you. So this was a word when his father uttered. Nashiketa, with his intense tapas, he went to the Yamaloka. Yama very patiently actually honored the boy, and offered, like asked him, like actually you have waited in front of my Yamapuri gate, Dwara of the Yamapuri, and due to the mistake, as a I have made the Brahmin to wait, to see that how I can get rid of this mistake which I have done. I will grant you with three boons. The Lord of Death, the Yamaraja, tells that I will give you three boons. Please ask me, because I have made you to the wait unknowingly. Nachiketa immediately asked, like, I need three informations from you. I need three boons from you. The first boon would be like, my father, whatever he's trying to perform, and he was in mid of very furiousness, very compulsive actions, very eager to step into the Swargaloka, as he thought that actually Vishwajita Yagna, in Puranas it is clearly written, but he was very impatient to actually step into, as he was near to his old age. This was his first boon, which Nachiketa asked, like, my father is old, he is performing the yagna, but his only thought is about entering into the Swargaloka. So first boon I would be asking you to give a peace to my father, the Shanta Tattva into my father's life. Second, Yamaraja asked Tatastu for the first boon, and second boon, Nachiketa asked like, please grant me the knowledge of Agni, the sacred fire that leads to the heaven, because even his father used to had performed the same yajna. Whatever we call it as a Vishvajita yajna is a performed through the Agni, and through the lot of ahutis and the pronunciation of the whatever we have it as an positions, we need to give it away to step into the Swargaloka. This was a thought even in that fire, in that Agni, the essence of the Agni was a greatest knowledge, because his father actually did not decoded this information to him because he was in verge of completing the yajna. So he asked Yamaraja, Yamaraja, my second boon would be the knowledge of Agni. How exactly the Agni is a purifier. How Agni can take all everything and purify oneself. Last video I have already spoken about this, about the importance of the Agni when it comes to the Bhairava sadhana, the sacred fire that leads to the Bhairava consciousness. The third was actually, it was a very secretive information. He asked one question like, the secret which lies beyond the death. Like, what is the difference between Shreya as well as Preya? After hearing this, what is Shreya as well as Preya, Yama actually was a bit worried, like how exactly I can teach this young Vatu about a concept of entire cosmos. Even this particular question cannot be digested or understood by even the gods are unsure of this. He said, tempting to the boy with a Preya, he with tempting with a Preya, he pleased, he told that actually I will be giving you a extra 2 boons, where actually you will get a wealth, long life, you will get all sort of happiness, enjoyment, livelihood in your life with land, money, as well as woman, in such a way that your entire life will be prolonged. I will give you that boon. That is a Preya. So we'll come into what is Shreya as well as a Preya. Basically, when Yamaraja with the thought of Preya approached this to the Nachiketa, Nachiketa actually replied in a beautiful way. Nachiketa was so matured, so beautifully answered to the god of death, that whatever you are trying to give it to me, Deva, Yamaraja, these things will pass away. The land, the money, and the woman who steps into your life not with a purpose will always go away. They were out of sense. All my 5 senses, once it is active, they will be with me, or else they will go away. They do not satisfy the soul. Tell me what lies beyond the death. This was the only question. He approached Yamaraja that if you want to really give it to me something, the third boon, you give me the knowledge of beyond the death. What lies beyond the death? This is where actually Shreya comes into a picture. Shreya is like a path of truth. And path of truth means like somewhat like lasting forever. Internal happiness. It may be sadhana, it may be meditation, it may be getting connected to your Daiva, it may be like that is Shreya. Daiva Marga. Okay. Preya is actually somewhat choosing over to the Preya is somewhat like worldly materials of worldly success. It may be a worldly pleasures, it may be worldly ego of having all these three which I told you earlier, having the ego of body, having the ego of actually the speech, having the ego of the mind. That is Preya. It is a pleasure, okay? It is a pleasure to the wealth. It is a long life. It is like, I need everything in this world. I need this, I need that. Or if I have something, I don't want this, I want something else. If God has given something situation to you, oh no, I don't want this, I want something else. This is prayer. Here actually, when Nashiketa asked this particular question, there was a hidden layer of a story where Bhairava steps in. We need to think about in a different aspect when we are a Bhairava Upasakas. It is not about one particular story, about one small kid asking about what lies beyond the death to the Lord of the death. But here we need to understand how exactly Bhairava consciousness was active in Nashiketa's mind. Bhairava behind the well of the Yama. What Yama actually disclosed was truly a need to be understood in a very minute level. बहुत सूक्ष्म तरह से actually इसको समझना पड़ेगा. Because Yama is Kala. We always tell once when we go near to the death, we tell all that his Kala has completed, his time has completed. So he has death. He has gone to the deathbed. He is dead. He has left his body. See, Yama is called as Kala because he is time. He is a gatekeeper of the death. He is a gatekeeper of the karma, of the cycles. But try to understand our Paramaguru, our Ishtartha Bhairava, our Ishtha is above than Yama because if Yama is Kala, he is Mahakala. He is Kala Bhairava, the greatest time, the timeless, the transcendent. He is the beyond the death and beyond the space. Where Yama ends, just let me tell you like this: when Yama ends, Bhairava begins. That's the Bhairava consciousness. If Yama is a law, Bhairava dissolves all the laws. Yama keeps the world in order because he takes care of karma bandha in a proper way. As Shanishwara Maharaja, he takes care of a karma. He ensures that whatever the good deeds you have done in your life, according to that karma phala, he will be giving you a particular next step choice. It is written in the all the scriptures, even in Vedas, like once whoever does a proper karma, accordingly their next stage of the life will be decided. But here, if Yama keeps the world in order, Bhairava destroys that order to reveal the eternal, what is inside. He will explode with those information to us. Here, the context is like when Nachiketa asked Yama about the death, he was not just asking of a physiological answer or on a metaphor. He was not asking like what exactly the death is. Is it a dropping of the body, or after dropping of this particular body, what is next is awaited for this Atman. He was unknowingly invoking the flame of Bhairava inside. The Agni of the consciousness, as I told you, in Bhairava consciousness, in a Bhairava sadhana, Agni Tattva is very, very essential. When we do a Nama Japa, as being in a first stage of Upasana, when we do the Mandala sadhana, you are actually activating your Agni in all the 4 layers. Jnanagni, from Jataragni to the Jnanagni, you are activating the Bhairava Tattva in yourself, invoking the flame of Bhairava in yourself to ensure that your consciousness actually get connected to him to explode what beyond the death is all about. That's what actually had even in the mind of Nachiketa at that given point of time. Like, that does not die. The consciousness never dies. That was a thought actually he had it. This is why Yama gives in a reveal the Atman. Why after leaving this body, what is the importance of this Atman, the unborn, undying infinity which is inside us, which is getting merged into the supreme consciousness. The way it get connected to the supreme consciousness, the Lord of the death, Yamaraja, explained him that one who steps after the death, they will go into the purest consciousness. Their atma will be activated. Accordingly, it will go to the particular actions on their karma sambandha. It will be decided whether it is a Yamadutas or it is the Shivaganas. In the Bhairava Swarupa, they will come to take you. So here it is unborn. The Atma, Parama Atma or Atma is unborn, undying, and the infinity which lies inside everyone. This realization is not under the Yama's domain. He clearly clarified, this is not in my domain. I only take care of karma. According the actions, whatever the karmas been performed in the Bhuloka, Yamal, in the Mrityuloka, accordingly I will be giving the decisions as what they need to complete their karma phala, or how, what need to be done on those actions or acts which has been performed in this Mrityuloka. To talk about this particular concept, we can talk about many things, as what exactly the karma, how exactly we need to perform it, and why exactly we need to perform, because every one of us actually will stand in one day in front of him, approaching him about calculating about our own deeds, whatever we have done when we there in this body. Dhamma, here the Lord of Death, Yamaraja, clearly clarifies that this particular domain of Atma, Paramatma, is not my domain, but it belongs to one Tattva, Shiva Tattva, Paramashiva, and it belongs to the Jnana, it belongs to the consciousness, belongs to the Bhairava himself, the Lord, truth beyond the fear, because death always has a fear to everyone, thinking that actually what will happen to this body, what will happen to the way I speak, what will happen the way I think, is this good, bad, ugly? That is the fear of existence. Once Bhairava steps into our life, he will remove all these things. He is the truth beyond the fear. He is a Bhairava consciousness. That is a Bhairava consciousness. Once it is activated, you are above the fears, the fear of death, the fear of loss, the fear of Preya. It is the marg of Shreya himself. Here, this was a story, and he explained to him very beautifully. The Yamaraja gave him all the three bones, and that was the end of the Nachiketa story. But how this story fuels the Bhairava sadhana, we being the Bhairava sadhakas, what is the essence we need to take away from this particular beautiful story of Upanishads is, Bhairava sadhana is walking on the razor. It is a razor edge, walking in a razor edge between the life as well as death. Death in every minute of your life. You are losing. Trust me, when you do a Bhairava sadhana, you are not gaining anything. You are losing your ego. Losing your ego in all the stages of your life. From your body. Trust me, it is not so easy. It is very difficult to lose a ego from this body. Second is from the mind. Third is from the speech. All these stages of the ego, how the Bhairava will be able to remove us, he tells us that life is always about the death of your actions, the death of your karma, of Preya. I need more in my life. Every mantra, every shloka, every bijamakshara is actually every breath. Forget, every breath is a choice between Shreya as well as Preya. He clearly clarifies this. We as a sadhakas need to understand, we always have a choice whether I need to choose a Shreya as well or a Preya in my life. Do we chase the power, the Preya, or do we dissolve into the awareness of Shreya? This is a choice always we have. Do you cling to the form or burn the formless fire to the Bhairava? This is the Shreya. Nachiketa become the idol of Bhairava Sadhaka. For I strongly feel that actually he was a greatest sadhaka by asking all these questions to the Lord of the Death. Not because he was a perfect, but because he was fearless. His questions and a disconnect with the illusion was so clear, like what I need to do, what I need to do next, and what is Chanabangur, or what we call it as dilution in one particular minute, and what is a eternal of the life of Bhairava consciousness. He turned his father's careless curse into the highest intuitions. That's how even all sadhakas of Bhairava can change their life. Not only oneself, surrounding themselves, the loved ones, not only the situation they live in, maybe the way they stay, they work, or they act, because they are living. Once you start living, you are to the near to the death of you're the near of the deathbed of ego. It is not the deathbed of this physical body, it is the death of the ego in all the stages of such as, like, first it would be like the body itself, the second the speech, the third it would be mind. The illusions, the highest self of illusions will be diluted. Here Nachiketa's intention was so pure and high that even he transformed even his father's life. We need to understand as a Bhairava sadhakas, Bhairava name means terrifying or awakening. He is not a fearsome to those who seeks truth, who seeks the connection between him. To them, he is the inner teacher. He is a Mahaguru. The flame behind the eyes of the death is what Guru Bhairava is all about. This, here you need to understand one thing. There is a secret symbol for the sadhakas of the Bhairava when it comes to all the three stages. The first, actually, the father's curse, the Gautama Rishi's curse to his son Nachiketa. He clearly clarifies. Here, we need to understand that karma pushes us to the door to the inner path. Whatever your today's problem is there, trust me, that is not your mistake, or that is not actually your what do you call it as, like, you're not in a sorry situation. Try to understand, it is not a curse. The karma pushes us to the door of the inner death. It is a boon for each one of us. Whenever we are in a trouble, try to understand, it is actually a doorway to the inner consciousness. It is a doorway to the Bhairava consciousness. Even a painful moment can lead to the awaken. Whosoever people in today's world, or any seekers or any kind of sages till dated, if they have attained the supreme jnana of Paramatma, that is merging into the consciousness, awakening themselves, it has happened only when they are being in a painful situation. If you are in a painful situation, it is your choice whether you are going to choose Shreya or Preya. This is what the first boon which actually taught it us. The 3 nights in the story, actually we spoke about the 3 nights at the death door, at the Yamapuri, at the death door of the Lord of Death, at the Yamaraja's door. It represents stillness of the body, silence of the speech, the clarity of the mind. These are the 3 nights. The stillness of the body, the silence of the speech, the clarity of the mind. A prerequisite is of the Bhairava presence. To enter into the Bhairava consciousness, these are the 3 things every Upasaka and Sadhaka need to have. Because Unless you drop your ego, entering into the Bhairava consciousness is merely not possible at all. It is impossible. Somewhat like I have done something to the particular temple. I have done a annadana. I have done actually some, again, he is a dharma rakshaka. He knows better than all of us like what need to be done at what time. Here the three nights actually represents very clearly stillness of the body, like how exactly you can still yourself when you do the sadhana paddhati. The silence of the speech, how exactly you need to take a control of your speech when you are in a sadhana paddhati. Even your loved ones, when they are in your family, how exactly you need to be very conscious as they not to be getted offended, and you also need to continue your sadhana. You need to balance between the Shreya and Preya there. Clarity of the mind, what is your ultimate goal? Finally we all need to get connected or a final to our Paramatma of our Ishta, Guru Bhairava. We need to step into his consciousness. That's actually the three nights, the death door, which represents. The third one, what we can understand is the Nachiketa's refusal of the Preya, which the death of the god. Yama, tell him that actually I give you extra two boons. Don't ask me what lies beyond the death. He asked when he asked this question. Here, what we need to understand is the moment we deny the egoic pleasures, the inner Bhairava starts speaking, because we, as a Bhairava sadhakas, Bhairava doesn't reside outside. He will be residing within us. That's the reason always I tell, please put your most of your time in your 144 days of sadhana mandala. 3 mandalas is a transformation. It will reset entire your 3 stages: your body, your speech, your mind. It will reset all these 3 stages. So Bhairava starts speaking from inner. The fourth is actually the fire of Agni Vidya. Whatever the second boon which he got it from the Yamaraja represents that Bhairava is often worshipped with the Homa and the fire rituals. This has been done in Tantra Sadhana. This is a common which every sadhakas need to perform. But there is a process which you need to perform. How to do it? Why? Because he himself is Agni. Bhairava is himself Agni Deva. His attire, you may be see in Kala Bhairava Swarupa, you may see his jata is looks like a Agni, which purifies two things: karma, and it reveals the self. He is beyond the karma. This is what actually the fire of the Agni Vidya teaches us from this particular story. Right? Conversation of Yama. How exactly Nachiketa was able to communicate with Yamaraja. The Bhairava sadhana is not about the blind followers. Many people comes and tell me that actually I am doing the sadhana from 1 year. I am not able to achieve myself in a better shape. Trust me, unless you do your sadhana in the proper procedure, in anusthana way, the way which is being described, and the way is being articulated for the better connection with the Daiva, unless you're not doing that, you will also be part of this blind followers. It is for those who have a questions. Whenever I get a questions in the Telegram group, I will be very happy to explain, answer each one of them, because their burning questions actually is invoking Bhairava consciousness in their life. The ignorance, they are stepping from Preya to the Shreya. They are stepping into this. The second is about the challenges. Every challenge in this life is a boon to connect to our, choose the Shreya and the Preya in our life, choose the Daiva Marga in our life. The third, the dare to know about the Bhairava consciousness is much more if you are a sadhaka, if you are a Bhairava sadhaka. I personally feel like why this story matters at now this point of time is, now I mean to say, like every every minute it's a now. Okay, we have already passed this minute, it's a now. So that's a very big concept when it comes to the now, being in the present moment. We all in the same way like Nachiketa was Okay, throws everything to the fate, by the fate, rejecting by the world. His own father actually rejected him, standing before the unknown, the Yamaraja himself. Here, whatever the tool what we have is Bhairava Sadhana. We ask not for the comfort, but for the true direct realization and the inner fire to get activated. Unless these three stages are not there, you cannot perform the Bhairava Sadhana. You need to know the comfort. You need to come out of the, you need to know about the truth. Why exactly I'm here? Why exactly why I'm trying to do his sadhana? Why I'm put into this situation? Is this actually my karma? Yes, your karma can be removed only by Bhairava. The direction realization, you will be from the step from Preya to Shreya, thinking about what is Daiva Marga, how exactly I need to jump from Preya Marga to Shreya Marga, how exactly this is a boon for me, this problem is a boon for me, this situation is a boon for me, how this situation is elevating me to take to the next level of my connection with the Daiva. The inner fire of the questions, the challenges, the dare of knowing. All this actually will is in the Nachiketa's thought. We all are Nachiketas. Yama is a law. Okay, for what I say it is Yama is a law because he is a lord of death. He creates the law. What need to be done after death? What exactly the punishment need to be given to the people who have done the wrong karma? There are very beautifully been articulated in Yama Purana, like as well as the Garuda Purana, how the stages of the death actually would be. Even in Mahabharata, the um, stages of all the Pancha Pandavas actually has very beautifully been articulated. Dhritarashtra's life, how exactly Dhritarashtra was able to go to the last minute with the help of Bhairava. A dog's walk to the Swargaloka, and the dog is also considered as Bhairava himself, the consciousness of Bhairava himself. So we all are Nachiketas. What I see personally is, if Yama teaches a law, the Bhairava, as a Guru Bhairava, he being a teacher, he being a Guru, he will teach us about the freedom. The freedom of what? The freedom of thoughts, the freedom of diluting your egos, the ego in your body, in your speech, and in your mind. Body is very essential because nowadays many people have started coming and telling, I am a Guru, I will teach you all the greatest Vidya in this world. Dashamaha Vidya I will teach you, I will give you actually a mantra diksha. Trust me, if someone is trying to tell that actually he is Guru himself, maybe he is also in the mid of these particular stages. The only which can help him is only Bhairava Jnana. The Bhairava consciousness is the only thing which can help him to come out of his current situation in his life. Know the truth. Uh, he can actually have a direct realization. He can activate his inner fire towards putting the ahutis of this ego, three stages of ego. He can put a ahuti. When we do a sadhana, especially a simple nama japa, people tell that actually I'm doing a nama japa from 1 year, nothing is happening. Trust me, when you do only a Mula Mantra Nama Japa, Om Bhairavaya Namaha, remember you are not calling a god outside. You are invoking the part of you that sat in the house of the death, in the Garbhagriha of the death. All of us, we will go into that particular stage. You are invoking him into your life, asking him that actually please remove all this imagination world around me. Give me a real truth. Show me the real truth. Put me into the situation where actually I can get you to know from Preya to Shreya. Give me the truth or give me nothing. This is what actually the last boon was being asked by Nishiketa to Yama. If you want to give me, just give me the what lies beyond the death. That is what even we as an Ashiketas need to have a one particular question. If Bhairava wants to give us something, he need to give us a truth of essence of being in his consciousness, not nor anything. Basically, the inner Nachiketa every one of us carry actually is the can it is actually the so when you sit in the Bhairava sadhana, when we as sit as a Nachiketa in a Bhairava sadhana, or when so when we sit in a Bhairava sadhana, remember one thing, that I am a Nachiketa, because these are the three burning stages. Not only me, I will ensure that I will take care of my surroundings, my own people, because the sadhana is not for oneself. The sadhana, the burning of yourself is not for yourself, to the people around you. You need to take them also with you to the higher level of consciousness. You are Nachiketa. The world around you is offering prayer. Always you want prayer. I want this name, fame. I need to be called by so and so name. I need so much of salary. My increment need to be there. I want to gain something, new building, new flat, new apartment, new car I need to purchase. I need to actually save something. I need to save for my next 3 generations. Prayer. Bhairava within is a roaring for Shreya. Once you do a sadhana, inside Bhairava will be activated. He will take you to the Daiva Marga. He is the only way who can take us to the Daiva Marga. And the death waits for rest to solve every of us. We all need to step into the death, but we have a choice. In everyday's life, every minute of the life, whether you are going to choose the Shreya or Preya, every minute of the life, you being the Nashiketa, you have a choice about Shreya or Preya. You choose it wisely, whether what you want it in your life, what is a sacred moment. Is it a mantra, Nama Japa of Bhairava, just invoking Om Bhairavaya Namaha? You are cleansing lot of karmas in your this existence, which is really essential to step into the greatest levels of the sadhana paddhati. That fire, that rise of the fire, the delusion, the bhasma of the ego falls away from you. So we need to become Nashiketas. One thing we need to always in our mind, I was never the body, I was never the fear. I am Bhairava because I belong to Bhairava consciousness, a pure consciousness beyond the fear, beyond the death, beyond everything. This is what I am. Maybe with this note, I take a leave for today's discussion. Maybe please listen to this once again if you feel that actually this information need to be digested much more better, because it's all about your choice, Preya and Shreya in your life. It is all purely depend on you, what you want in your life, how exactly what you need it. So it all differs on you. With that note, to by leaving you that in that thoughts, I'll take a leave. Om Bhairavaya Namaha. Om Hingulambikaya Namaha. Om Kamakyaya Namaha. ओम हिंगुले परम हिंगुले अमृत रूपिणी तनुशक्ति मन शिवे श्री हिंगुलाय नमः. नमस्कारम.